Welcome to Sheriff's Talk, a public affairs program of KWN TV 7. Join us every week as we talk various aspects of law enforcement and how important it is for the citizens and law enforcement to work together. Now join us for another edition of Sheriff Talk on KWN Live and Local TV Channel 7. Welcome into Sheriff Talk here on KWN TV. Hi, this is Evan Stone alongside Dade County Sheriff Ray Cross. Sheriff, how are you today?
Evan, I'm good. How are you?
Doing good. Hope everyone at home is doing well, and welcome into another edition of Sheriff Talk this week. Last week I was with Bo Burnett, Sheriff from Marion County, unable to be here with us today, but we appreciate you coming in to talk about issues concerning law enforcement as we do every week. A little bit later on in the program, we want to talk to you about an illegal chop shop that was discovered on Sand Mountain just in the recent days, and we'll talk about that coming up. But as you may recall, just over the last couple of days, if you've seen the news, see some of the stories that are out there, I believe on television news last night, which would have been Monday night, is the fact that all 7 sheriffs in North Georgia has gotten together, and you were included, of course, and sent a letter to our representatives concerning a House bill that's supposed to be voted on today, from what I understand. And it is a House bill. It's a House bill, by the way, 234, that that basically would allow some. Well, I'm going to let you kind of explain it, and then we'll break down some of the things that you, along with, I will tell everybody, the sheriffs, Sheriff Catoosa County, Chattooga County, Murray County, Walker County, Whitfield County, Gordon County, and Dade County. So all the chief law enforcement officials in all of North Georgia came together yesterday for a press conference.
Yes. We met over in Catoosa County with Sheriff Sisk and all the other sheriffs, and this is on House Bill 324 that's coming up today to vote on. And this bill has to do with the cultivation of marijuana in the state of Georgia. And what they're wanting to do is to set up places in Georgia to manufacture marijuana to produce the oil from it, is the way this bill is starting out. Okay, let me get one thing straight. The Sheriff's Association and most of the sheriffs, or all the sheriffs that I know of, are in support of the oil if it helps children with seizures. I know there's some that has Tourette syndrome and stuff like that it does help with, and we're all for that if this is used medically to help with conditions like that. What we're not in favor of this bill because on the cultivation of marijuana, there's a lot of things you have to look at, and just to bring this in as quick as they're trying, why are they trying to pass this bill so quick? I don't know if everybody I've talked to, nobody's even heard of this bill. As far as citizens of Dade County, unless you're in the know of it. It's not been advertised that I know of on TV or newspaper, radio, anything that I know of, and it's like they're trying to sneak this bill in as quick as they can and get it voted on and get it passed. There's a lot of things that we don't agree with in this bill. There's no regulations to say, if you open up a restaurant, like I know we have some in Dade County, you have to have a server's license. They have to be fingerprinted and have cards to be able to sell alcohol. This has nothing.
And we can. I mean, we've got the entire show here to kind of break down this letter that was dated for yesterday, and all of you signed, and you sent it to the legislature. And there is some stipulations in it, but issues the sheriffs, and you being one of them, that have with House Bill, and I'm just going to read them and let you respond to them if you don't care. That may be the best way. You're right. I mean, the medical marijuana issue kind of gets blurred lines. It gets blurred with the media because there is some states that have legalized the marijuana that you smoke. This really has nothing to do with that. First, you have to go back and set a little guideline that marijuana is a scheduled drug that is prohibited by federal law.
Right.
Thus, the reason that a pharmacist that you may go to get your medicine, whether it be a heart medicine or diabetic medicine or blood pressure medicine or whatever, cannot dispense it, cannot house it. They can't associate with it because, keep in mind, the pharmacists have a federal DEA number. So even this oil that's the low THC oil, a pharmacist cannot hold it because it's against federal law. Now, just a point in question, to me, the first place on any of this should be to try to change the federal law.
Exactly, and that's what our stance is. You know, I know, especially in Georgia, say you can't transport this across state line, this oil. And that's the problem, I think, that the families face that have children with seizures and stuff like that. They can't get the oil in, you know, even though a kid needs it. That's where they ought to be focusing their attention in, is
It should
changing.
be on the federal level.
Exactly, changing federal law so they can get it across state line to help their children.
This federal law they need to change this medication, if you're going to call it a medication, over to where a pharmacist can safely control it, dispense it, house it, and where it would be controlled, actually. But because you're right, I mean, there's 8,000 folks that have these cards, but they're unable to have it in their possession, or a pharmacist is unable to dispense it, so they can't go to the drugstore to pick it up because it's against federal law. So I've long thought that that's where all the focus should be, is on the federal representatives.
Should be.
To change a law to make this oil dispensable through pharmacists.
Yeah. Now, what they want to do is to set up cultivation farms to grow marijuana to extract the oil from these plants. And another thing that throws up a red flag to us, they're not going to allow the agricultural department to be involved in this growing of this plant, which every other plant in the state of Georgia, the agricultural department is involved with.
And I'm only using this to think about, they probably can't because they get federal money.
Right.
And it's federal money, and it's against federal law.
Yeah, exactly.
So the agricultural folks say, well, we can't monitor it because that would jeopardize the federal subsidies that we get to operate our program.
Sure. So
I mean, to me, this ought to be raising red flags everywhere.
it should. And the way they're trying to go about this to pass it so quickly, I don't know when this bill was introduced. It hadn't been long, but they're trying to get it through the House right, today. As we sit here now, they're going to have a vote on this today. And if it does pass the House, then it'll go to the Senate. And we are urging all citizens of Dade County to contact your senators and let them know that,
Or the representatives.
the representatives.
In Dade County and part of Walker County would be Representative Colton Moore.
Yeah.
He would be the one that would be voting on this today.
So-
And Sheriff, and we may need to take our first break. When we come back, we're going to break down the things that the sheriffs, you being one of them, all 7 sheriffs in North Georgia, have issues on House Bill 324 that was sent to the legislature yesterday. We'll break those down, let the sheriff respond to them. You're watching Sheriff Talk, and we'll continue right after this.
I'm hungry and leave satisfied at Cloud's Pizza, Highway 71 in Higdon. Cloud's Pizza uses only the freshest ingredients, and we hand toss our own pizza dough. Our pizzas are made from scratch when you order, so they're always fresh. And don't forget about our famous Sand Mountain cheese sticks. You can eat from the daily buffet or try a mouth-watering hamburger or cheeseburger. Come see your friends at Cloud's Pizza, Highway 71 in Higdon, and never leave hungry. Call ahead at 597-3100 for Cloud's Pizza. Visit us on Facebook at Cloud's Pizza and more.
Come see us at Cloud's Pizza. Innovation and quality. Two things you don't normally hear about in a recruitment ad, but you'll hear a lot about innovation and quality when you join the team at Vanguard National Trailer. Vanguard is an industry leader in the production of dry van trailers and composite plate trailers.
And right now, Vanguard National Trailer is hiring energetic and hardworking team members to be assemblers and welders, as well as industrial maintenance for first shift openings.
And you'll work a full 40-hour week in 4 days, which means 3-day weekends. And overtime is available. Working at Vanguard National Trailer has other great benefits too, like paid holidays, paid vacation, medical, dental, vision, and life insurance, plus a 401k plan.
Full-time work, 3-day weekends, available overtime, and great benefits. That's Vanguard National Trailer.
Fill out your application today. Vanguard National Trailer is an equal opportunity employer.
Apply in person today. Starting pay $10 to $14 an hour, depending on position. Vanguard National Trailer Corporation, Highway 11 North, turn beside the Primary Healthcare Center on Vanguard Drive.
Hey, that cold weather is coming, and it's never too early to get your winter supplies from Rising Fawn Hardware and Supply. 4300 Highway 11 South in Rising Fawn. Everything you need to wrap pipes under the house. Winterize around the doors. Make sure your outside faucets are protected, and keep those drafts from coming through the windows. Get your supplies for fall and winter for the home and farm today. Rising Fawn Hardware and Supply. 4300 Highway 11 South in Rising Fawn. Telephone 706-462-2071. The Moore family name has built a legacy of trust, compassion, and peace of mind by standing with families during time of loss. Now in our 70th year, the Moore family commitment grows even stronger, from affordable, traditional services to cremation. Our experienced staff stands ready to follow through on you and your family's wishes. Since 1945, the Moore family of funeral homes, North Sand Mountain and Trenton, always dedicated to those we serve.
Welcome back to Sheriff Talk here on KWN TV. Visiting today, of course, with Dade County Sheriff Ray Cross, talking about a letter that the sheriffs of all of the North Georgia counties wrote to the Georgia General Assembly, the House of Representatives, concerning Bill 324 that's on the floor to be voted on this week. It's concerning the use of low THC oil and the manufacturing of it and distribution of it. And Sheriff, I'm going to read, these are the bullet points, if you will, that the sheriffs put out that they have some issues with. It says this bill creates the Office of Low THC Oil Control within the Department of Public Health and tasks them with 10 paragraphs and around 25 lines in the bill for formulating all forms, applications, oversight procedures, data collection, implementation, testing procedures, facility inspections, complaints, rules, regulations, product tracking, etc., all by December the 1st, 2019. And not one word as to how this is to be funded. Why the rush? ? This is too short of a time to be done properly. Now, that's the first issue that y'all brought up with this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, well, that's only one of the issues that we have, and like I say, they're trying to get this passed so quickly, Evan. I just don't understand why the rush on this, and why can't it be? And we've had nobody contact law enforcement to talk about, some of the issues that could occur, from the ones introducing this bill. So,
well, the next point that you as the sheriffs here in North Georgia brought out, this bill creates a low THC oil license oversight board for reviewing and approving applications, and it is not compensated. However, they can have a daily allowance for meeting plus reimbursement for their transportation, which is standard. They may also contract for necessary goods and services and employ necessary personnel to assist in carrying out the duties required under this article as it deems advisable. And then y'all bring up who's going to fund it.
Exactly.
There's no money to go with this bill,
right,
because that would also have to be created as in the budget, correct?
Yeah, is that going to put the burden on the taxpayers or what? Where's this money going to come from?
Class 1, this is the next point of Class 1 license is to grow unlimited amount of cannabis or hemp products products are not defined and unlimited for 8,000 patients currently. So in other words, they would be able to grow an unlimited amount, and the products are not defined and unlimited for the 8,000 patients. So am I taking the fact they would be able to grow as much as they wanted, and even not just to take care of the 8,000 patients?
Sure, there's no regulations on it.
The next bullet point would be Class 1 license shows that they would have to put $10 million for investment and a $5 million bond. The sheriffs say, why would 5 companies make that big of an investment for only 8,000 patients? And the question is, are they planning to expand?
Well, there's where we have a big concern. You know, you have 8,000 patients currently card holders for medical marijuana. Let's say once this bill passes, this may double, maybe even triple. Does that offset the $10 million they're going to have to put down for an investment plus the $5 million bond on getting a return on that money? In our opinion, they're looking down the road for what this is going to lead to as far as a recreational marijuana sale in the state of Georgia. I think it's going to turn out just like Colorado. We had a sheriff, I think it's from Pueblo, Colorado, that talked about the problems that rushing that bill through in Colorado causes, and he said, you know, they better think about this before they pass this bill. So
I can recall when that was going on in Colorado for recreational. They were sheriff after sheriff after sheriff came on and talked about how negative, and they did not want it.
Yeah,
they opposed it. You know.
Well, now they're seeing the repercussions of it once it's passed out there, and the problems it's causing.
The total, and the next point of question that y'all brought up to the legislature, total retail outlets allowed by this bill are 60. And they say again, why are so many outlets for 8,000 patients? The bill also allows for home delivery.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that home delivery would have to be an independent private company because the federal post office could not deliver a drug that is federally against the law.
Exactly.
So it couldn't be through the mail. It would have to be someone physically bringing it to somebody's house.
Yeah.
The next bullet point they bring out is the background checks are performed by the Georgia Crime Information Center, which only covers Georgia. They need to be fingerprinted for a national check, and alcohol servers have to be fingerprinted by law.
Exactly. You know, we regulate our alcohol. You know, alcohol board here in Dade County fingerprints everybody that serves alcohol in Dade County, and they have nothing here showing that anybody's going to be fingerprinted or it's going to be listed. If you do a background check, and this just says through Georgia Crime Information Center, that's all it's going to check is Georgia. It's not going to check Montana or Arkansas or
Tennessee or Alabama.
Tennessee or Alabama, yeah, that close, and they could be convicted felons, you know. So there's not, you know, they haven't even looked at this going through the National Crime Information Center. So that's another red flag we have.
Well, the next point is convicted felons may work at and or possibly have ownership as long as a conviction is 10 years old. The sheriffs go on and say the temptation is too risky.
Well, let's say you had a convicted felon that was a drug dealer, a major drug dealer in Georgia, and they're saying after 10 years you want to get him back into the drug field as far as producing or cultivating marijuana. You know, even though he's maybe cleaned up after 10 years, but how big of a temptation is that for him to get hooked back up, you know, into the whole business again?
The next point is this bill does not require by law that a person requesting the low THC oil present their state-issued medical card, yet state law requires ID to purchase alcohol.
Exactly.
So in other words, if I had a card to get this, I wouldn't even have to show the store that I'm buying it from that I'm actually, my doctors told me I could have it.
Yeah, and this is the kind of bill they're trying to get passed.
the next point, the Georgia Bureau of Investigation is given all access, but nothing gives local sheriffs or police department access. Also, no specific funding for the GBI regarding their responsibilities.
And usually the GBI doesn't come into our county unless they're requested by the sheriff. So, who's going to be keeping an eye on these people? That's another red flag.
The next point would be no mandatory annual or biannual inspections mandated by law. I guess that goes to your same question. Who's going to be regulating these potential retail outlets or manufacturing outlets?
Right.
The next one the sheriffs bring up is Department of Agriculture prohibited from regulation. And, of course, we talked about that earlier.
Yep.
That may be because of their close tie-ins with the federal.
Right.
And keep in mind, this is a substance that is against federal law. And then the next one that y'all put out, no oversight by the Pharmaceutical Board, yet this is for medicine.
Right. And Food and Drug Administration, where they...
Well,
they
it's
in this
against
picture?
federal law, so
Right.
they can't. They can't be in the regulatory. I would assume the regulatory aspect of regulating something that's against federal law.
Right.
So that kind of goes without saying. That's the reason your local pharmacist can't carry it down, from what we've been told. No opt-in or opt-out for local government. So that basically means that and what I read in here, I think is 60 retail outlets would be allowed in the state of Georgia. But there's no regulation that 5 of them could be in Catoosa County.
That's right. Or 10. They could have as many as they want if it's not regulated. How many they can have.
Now the next one addresses that. No limit on how many outlets can be given in any geographical location, like the methadone clinics that have now got new regulations because of having so many here in North Georgia. Like the methadone clinics, will they flood an area like Catoosa County that is at the state line, or Dade, if you want to use that, with a major interstate, trying to draw customers from neighboring states?
Let's look at the methadone clinic. We did a road check up there a couple of years ago, and while we were conducting that road check, about every out-of-state vehicle that come there, we had a majority of them from Kentucky and Tennessee that came through that road check that went right into the methadone clinic. There were more out-of-state people coming to that methadone clinic than there were Georgia or Dade County people. So what do you think this is going to bring to our state? When we talk about convicted felons and stuff, how many do you think it's going to bring into here after the products that they're going to be cultivating?
Products need to be better defined. This is the final one. Products need to be better defined with strict limitations.
Well, that's the bill, Evan. We are, as sheriffs, like I say, against the bill because it's so loose. There's so many loopholes in it. Again, all the sheriffs are for the THC oil if it helps children with seizures, as long as it's medically used for medical purposes. We're all for it. Don't get me wrong and think we're not. We'll do anything to help children or people that need this oil. But
it should be. It's kind of. It should be addressed where a pharmacist can have this.
Yes.
And
just like any other prescription.
And get it where they get all of their other drugs.
Yeah. Just
where
like
it's controlled.
Any other prescription that comes across that state line. That's where they need to be focusing their energy on, is getting this federally alleviated so they can get it across the state line to their family members. And that's they're talking about growing it here and producing it and all that. But you can see where this is headed. This is heading to legalizing it for recreational use. And what's going to happen there is once that happens and it gets regulated for recreational use, then they're going to be charging those high dollars for it. The black market's going to be even doubling because they're going to be cheaper to buy it off the black market than it will be to buy it legally if it gets legalized.
Now, I'm going to ask you a question. when when you were sworn into office, did you took an oath to uphold the laws of just Georgia, or was they all the laws of the United States?
Well, we were sworn in through Georgia, but yes, we obey the Constitution too. So, we're
So where does it put law enforcement if there is a illegal federal substance
that puts us in a bad situation.
that is being sold
Right.
either locally or grown locally?
Yeah. That makes it tremendously tough on law enforcement because if these things become legal, it's just going to be that harder on law enforcement. Like I say,
But there again, I agree with you. The fact that the right way is to be able to change the federal law because the losers are the folks that really need it.
that's right.
It's
That's right.
like that they have, it's like that there's a cure now for a drug that helps a certain illness, but it's not federally available. So the states are kind of going around federal law, trying to enact local laws.
And in my opinion, this
They
is all,
should be changing it federal. And you may know, I mean, obviously this is your job day in and day out, but I haven't heard a federal move to change the drug, the oil, from what schedule is it? It's a schedule narcotic that, it's a scheduled drug that makes it illegal. They just need to move it over into another schedule
they do.
where pharmacists can
Yeah.
dispense it.
This is we're projecting this is probably going to pass through the House when they vote on it today. We have so much, I guess, liberalism, you call it, in the world today that if you read Facebook, a lot of negativity from the sheriffs trying to stop this bill was just overwhelming. So that's kind of showing us where our country's headed. Yes, this oil, and we're all, like I say again, we're all for this oil helping children. But look at how many, like Sheriff Chitwood said yesterday, how many families have lost loved ones because of drug overdoses. A lot more than this oil has helped. We had last year, I had 7 suicides last year connected with drugs. And going to those family members, having to tell them that they've lost their family member because of drugs. And you can go in my jail and ask everyone back there, where did your drug addiction start? And every one of them will tell you marijuana. The majority of them, I won't say every one of them, but the majority of them will tell you marijuana.
Well, I mean, there again, I mean, I think the 8,000 Georgians, and there's, maybe 8,000 Alabamians, 8,000 Tennesseans, but I mean, those are the folks that are losing.
Yeah.
And the federal aspect of it, that's where our, in Georgia, our House of Representatives and our senators need to be putting forth bills that would move this out of one schedule. We're not talking about recreational marijuana on a federal level at all. We're talking about the oil, because that does get kind of messed up when folks start looking at it from a from a media standpoint, because you do have media that wants to say legalizing marijuana, which it's really legalizing the oil that's kind of extracted from the marijuana, if you will.
They use opium in hospitals and everything else, but you don't see us growing poppy plants here in Georgia. So they got to get their priorities right. And I'm so tired of this drug culture that we're into now, where it's went from marijuana to methamphetamines and fentanyl and everything else. And another thing about marijuana, and a lot of people thinks it's safe, but they are lacing marijuana now with fentanyl, which is the most of the young people are taking now and overdosing accidentally because they don't know what's in it. And that's what I ask people when they come to the jail. And I said, I'll say, where'd you get your marijuana? And they won't, of course, not going to tell me. But I said, if you got it from a drug dealer or whatever, do you trust that person in your life? And they said, well, no. Well, you just did, because you just bought marijuana and you don't know if it's laced with anything or not. So.
And they lace that with fentanyl for what reason?
To make it stronger, so they'll come back to them and buy it from them. but a lot of times it makes it too potent, and they'll overdose on it and die. So
we're talking about House Bill 324. It's in the House of Representatives in the state of Georgia today. You just heard the sheriff say reach out to your representatives, and you've heard his point of view. And this letter that I've got here that we're talking about, signed by Catoosa County Sheriff, Chattooga County, Murray County, of course, Dade, Walker County, Whitfield County, and Gordon County, all 7 sheriffs in North Georgia holding a press conference yesterday concerning this House bill that's being voted on, we believe, today in the State House of Representatives. Take another break. We'll come back with our conversation here on Sheriff Talk.
Gigabit Internet residential service is now available to customers of the North Alabama Electric Co-op with NAEC Fiber in Jackson and Marshall County. Residential gig service is now available for only $79.95. Call today to have your gig service installed at 256-437-5000. High-speed fiber residential gig Internet service now available to customers of the North Alabama Electric Co-op with NAEC Fiber. Business and commercial customers can get gig service too. Call for pricing 256-437-5000. Gig service from North Alabama Electric Co-op. 256-437-5000.
Check out these specials right now at Cloud Auto Sales, Higdon, Alabama. Just in time for tax time. Check out these exciting specials. 2008 GMC Sierra SLE Z71 4-wheel drive crew cab with alloy wheels, black interior, only $15,500. 2009 Hyundai Limited Leather with a sunroof, 3rd row seat, only 131,000 miles, only $69.95. A 2006 Chevy Impala V6 with air, real good tires, alloy wheels, drives and runs great, only $24.95. Hurry to Cloud Auto Sales, warranties available. Highway 71, Higdon. Like us on Facebook or call today 597-2373. Come see Rayburn Cloud today before you buy at Cloud Auto Sales on Sand Mountain.
Delivering top-quality primary health care locally. We are Northeast Alabama Health Services. With 7 locations, there's one near you. Scottsboro, Section, North Sand Mountain and Higdon, Skyline, Woodville, Fife, and Fort Payne. We accept Medicare, Medicaid, and of course your private insurance. If you're unemployed, low income, or have a high copay or deductible, you may also qualify for a reduced rate office visit as low as $16. Ask about our free medication program, and ladies, you may qualify for a free or reduced rate mammogram. Dental referrals for our patients with tooth removal and fillings for only $15. Putting your health concerns first, we're Northeast Alabama Health Services. Cervical cancer screenings now available at Northeast Alabama Health Services. A time-tested financial institution equipped with the latest banking technology. The Bank of Dade, with mobile banking to fit your on-the-go lifestyle. Download our latest app today for your iPhone, Android, or tablet to bank on the go. Check your balance, pay bills, make deposits, and keep track of your account anytime and anywhere with the Bank of Dade's smartphone app. Make life easier by using today's most advanced banking technology to your advantage. Call us at 657-6842 or visit on the web at bankofdade.com. Your hometown bank since 1956, the Bank of Dade. Main office is on Highway 11 North in Trenton, and drive-thrus on Highway 11 North and Highway 136 West. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Back now to Sheriff Talk here on KWN TV. Thank you for joining us this week. We've been talking with Dade County Sheriff Ray Cross about House Bill 324, and of course it's up for vote this week in the House of Representatives in the state of Georgia. And the sheriffs, the letter that the sheriffs are that sent to the House of Representatives, starts off that say that you long support the low THC oil for children, severe seizure disorders, but list out all of these different things that we read as a concern to this particular bill that needs to be addressed.
Yeah, we're very much in favor of the low THC oil for kids to help with seizures and stuff like that, and getting with the federal government to get the restrictions raised to let it come across state lines so people can administer it to their children.
Well, and a pharmacist needs to be able to distribute it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it just makes
like any other drug.
Right. I mean, where they've already got a system of control, if you will, through that. So, we'll see how the legislature votes on the House side, and and then and go from go from there. All right. Busy your office. Other than this, obviously, you've been busy on this with the sheriffs of North Georgia. But what about the? I know that we just ran a story this week where an old-fashioned, I guess, chop shop. I guess that's a term that we don't hear very often, but it's where. Well, I'll let you you kind of describe the chop shop thing, but out on Sand Mountain.
Yeah, well, I've got a sign on our Sallyport door when they bring the inmates in that says open 24/7, and that's for sure. We're open 24/7, 365 days a year, including Christmas Eve, whatever, and the business has been good, as they say. So, yes.
Well, now understanding your officers and your detectives were able to find this illegal activity going on Sand Mountain, I believe, on Porter Road. And there were several stolen cars there that they found, I believe.
As everybody knows, it's the Wootons again. Not all the Wootons. There's some Wootons that are good people. And as a matter of fact, this was called in by someone very close to them. And when officers arrived on the scene, they found, from what the witnesses said, two or three people took off running before we got there. I think it was possibly on video. One guy was still trying to hook up a truck or something there. They had him at gunpoint and got him arrested, and we have warrants out on the other suspects as we speak.
I think we have some pictures that Cody's going to be able to show, and this is in the Mountain Valley Independent at discoverday.com, and we're seeing it, two individuals from this.
The one on top was arrested on the scene. He's the one that was hooking up the vehicle. The other subject underneath was one that ran, the gas subject. He is currently in our jail. One of our other officers stopped him on a traffic stop the other day and fortunately came across him, and he's in our jail now. And Mr. Stephen Wooten is the one that ran, and we are currently looking for him. So if anyone has any idea where he's at, please give us a call, and let's get him behind bars with the rest of his family.
657-DATE is the phone number, 657-3233. You can read this story, go to discoverday.com, click on the Mountain Valley Independent, and you'll be able to see that there. So discoverday.com and the Mountain Valley Independent, you'll be able to see those three individuals, including the one sheriff just alluded to. Y'all are still looking.
We deal with them over and over. Every time they get put in jail, they go to court and they serve their time or whatever, they get back out and do it again and again. And it's just getting old, and people in that community up there is getting tired of it. And we as law enforcement officers, definitely getting tired of it. But I wish the judges would, once these people get convicted, would be sent off for, I wish they could raise the time they spend in prison a lot longer than what it is, because they just don't seem to be learning. I read a text this morning that, they've given chance after chance after chance. They're not going to straighten up. So, it's time that the neighbors and the victims of these crimes, it's time that this gets stopped, so they don't have to keep suffering this loss of their stolen property.
Now, this was mainly, or not mainly, but there was some stolen vehicles that y'all recovered, correct?
Yeah, 2 or 3 vehicles. I think a camper was found, all of them stolen.
Out on Sand Mountain. Once again, you can read more about that when you go to discoverday.com. The Mountain Valley Independent is where you'll find that full story about all of the arrests, and also information on who they're looking for to be.
I think there's also tools. Collaborated with a chop shop, also found inside the residence. They got a search warrant for the residence and found tools and everything, which connects this with the chop shop. So, every time we go up there, there's usually a vehicle or something stolen on that property. So,
you're watching Sheriff Talk here on KWN TV. We'll take another quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about a new Sheriff's Academy. It's going to be starting out pretty quick, and we'll have more. Stay with us right here on Sheriff Talk on KWN TV.
Can you gig it? Oh, yes, you can. We know you've been waiting for a long time, and now Tennessee Valley Net is bringing it to you. Gigabit internet service now available in certain areas of Dade County. Not just fast, super fast internet service now available from Tennessee Valley Net. People are talking, I mean really smiling about gig speed internet available in limited areas from Tennessee Valley Net. Call today at 706-657-4367 or log on at tvn.net and see if gig speed is available where you are. We know you'll gig it from Tennessee Valley Net.
Georgia Northwestern Technical College is now accepting applications for classes. We offer programs in business, health, industrial, and public service at 6 campus locations with financial aid options as well. Take day, evening, or online classes to get your degree, diploma, or certificate. Apply now. Drop by one of our campuses today or check us out at gntc.edu. Georgia Northwestern Technical College. Get focused. Get hired.
When you or a loved one is facing a life-limiting illness, hospice care may be the answer. At Tapestry Hospice, the patient is the focus of our care. We are here to serve you and facilitate your wishes. Tapestry caregivers are concerned with managing your pain, keeping you in touch with your physician, and helping you make plans for the future. Hospice is life-affirming, and Tapestry Hospice can help you deal with all aspects of life, mind, body, and soul. Call Tapestry Hospice for more information. 706-383-8812. That's 706-383-8812. Tapestry Hospice. Redefining hope. When you need a licensed plumber, call Stacy Ledwell and the staff at Mr. Rooter in Scottsboro. Mr. Rooter provides your home or business with advanced solutions using high-tech equipment. Our commitment to customer satisfaction shines through in our personalized service. When you schedule an appointment, our professionals will dedicate time to explain the work that has to be done. Our staff will give you upfront pricing, so you'll know exactly what's involved before any work begins. We even pump septic tanks and do new construction on houses. Fully licensed, bonded, and insured, Mr. Rooter in Scottsboro. Call Stacy Ledwell today to set up an appointment at 256-574-4710. Have lunch or dinner at Guthrie's, home of the original Golden Fried Chicken Finger and the best chicken finger sauce in the world. Guthrie's can help you plan your family's meals or get-togethers with bucket specials every Tuesday, those delicious wings on Wednesday, and platters every day of the week. Plus, get sweet tea by the gallon. Remember, Guthrie's has a party room for small gatherings, too. Guthrie's, Highway 136 West in Trenton, home of those Golden Fried Chicken Fingers and the best chicken finger sauce in the world.
Guthrie's, not fast food, good food fast.
Back now to Sheriff Talk here on KWN TV, a weekly program. We dive into all kinds of different law enforcement every week around the four-county area that we cover, and talking today, of course, with the Sheriff of Dade County, Sheriff Cross. And you've got another, I guess I've kind of lost track of how many academies you've put on there.
This will be 6.
6 of them. And this is a Citizens Academy.
Yeah, this is our 6th annual Citizens Academy. I tell you, they're fantastic. I've got tonight, it starts tonight, by the way, at 6 o'clock at the courthouse. I've got a lot of people out of previous classes that are going to attend again. They love it so much, they want to come back. And I had several of them call me.
Well, maybe a few of them you can sit on demand day.
Some of them I can just about send them on, yeah.
They may want to get in law enforcement.
They may do it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, they enjoy it, and we hopefully going to have a big class this time. If anyone's interested and hasn't heard about it or hasn't been able to get an application in, just show up tonight and we'll get your application filled out tonight while you're there. And
you know, I wish to, and you may have had this, and I haven't watched it that closely, but if you've recently graduated and you're thinking about a career in law enforcement, this would be a great opportunity to kind of understand a little bit of the background and into a career you might want to get into.
Just about everybody that's been through this academy says, I had no idea. I had no idea what y'all did and the many different aspects in law enforcement.
Well, I think we all get, I don't know the correct percentage of folks that actually have one-on-one dealings with law enforcement, but it's considerably low.
Mm-hmm.
Same way with ambulance or fire. I think the old saying used to be that 10% of the people cause 90% of the problems.
That's about
And,
right.
that was unfortunately kind of the way it is for the emergency services. But so a lot of people don't interact with a law enforcement officer, and you know, for those that do, it may be only because they were stopped in a traffic violation or something like that. I think
or victim of a crime.
or victim of a crime, you know, and we hope that that's not either. But you know, the only interaction you may ever had with a law enforcement officer is when they walk up and ask to, you know, to see your driver's license. You know, for they may have noticed something that they want to be able to talk with you about. So this gives you an opportunity to kind of go behind the scenes.
Yeah, it does. I was, show you a little aspect of law enforcement. I was with my wife the other day. We were in my vehicle and we were headed across Lookout. And I started at Trenton, headed up Lookout Mountain, and I seen this truck in front of me kept going over to the other lane. I mean, he was going way over in the other lane several times. I tried to wait till I get to a safe spot to get him stopped, and we got all the way to the top of the mountain and got all the way in, almost going off the other side into Walker County, and finally activated my blue lights and got him stopped. And I walked up, and it's a big Dodge truck, and he had his girlfriend in there, and I said, son, how long you been driving? He said, for a pretty good while. I said, well, it looks to me like you just got your license the way you're driving. He stated that his truck had a lot of play in the steering wheel and stuff. I said, well, so your truck is not safe to be on the road. I guess I need to call a wrecker and tow it. And oh, no, sir, please. He said, I guess I just wasn't paying attention. I said, well, you better start paying attention because you're putting people's lives in danger out here. And I gave him a good talking to and stuff. I didn't write him a ticket or call anything, but that's what happens. A majority of the traffic stops, you know, officers try to warn you before they write citations, so to try to get you to change your, you know, mannerism of driving and stuff. So that, hopefully that made this boy realize that he needs to watch what he's doing. So.
Well, and hopefully so. I mean, you know, obviously that's your whole motive, really, in police work is to, you know, to
change behavior.
Change behavior.
Yeah.
You know, even when you get someone that's incarcerated, you want that behavior to change. You know, as you alluded to earlier in the program, you don't want them to go in, stay, and do their time for their crime, and then come back out and go do another crime. That's
Exactly.
not what you're trying to achieve.
Right.
What nobody's trying to achieve.
Yeah, and that's what through the Citizens Academy we're trying to show people how, you know, crimes affect people and everything else, but mostly what we go through on a daily basis with a sheriff's office or a police officer, and you know, we'll show everything from road patrol to the detectives. We take them on a tour of the jail. Our canines come in, our drug task force comes in. We go down to the courthouse and we put on a mock trial, show what, you know, the judge's role and the attorney's roles are, juries and everything else. We do the school resource officers. Just one thing after another. You know, we go to the high school and do vehicle pullovers, like we're stopping an actual traffic stop. It's just a very. Also, let me add that if you go through the whole 10-week course and make it every week, you get to go 3 additional classes. I don't know if we're going to do 3 this time, but we do take you to the firing range and let you shoot weapons. We were doing a ride-along class. I'll have to check and see if we're still doing that, but it's a very informative class. It's very interactive. We let the participants, you know, participate with some of the things that we do, so it's a lot of fun.
Now, you do put your folks in the class. They do go through a background check.
They do, yeah. Before we let them come through, they go through a background check, and so far had a pretty good turnout.
I tell you, and we'll talk about it in the next break, just briefly what we know about it. Very much a tragic story out of DeKalb County that the new sheriff is having to work with down there of a 11-year-old girl taken from her aunt's house and then found deceased the next morning. We'll talk about that. We got another break coming up. Stay with us. Sheriff Talk continues here on KWNTV.
Landers McLarty Ford of Fort Payne is your destination for quality automobile service. Landers McLarty is second to none when it comes to service on your vehicle. You can drop by and see us on Glen Boulevard Southwest in Fort Payne. Call our service department at 256-845-1101 or schedule an appointment online at LandersMcLartyFordFortPayne.com. So whether you drive a Ford or any other make of car, SUV, or truck, see our ASE certified and Ford factory trained technicians today at Landers McLarty Ford in Fort Payne. NL Tax and Bookkeeping is ready to serve all of your tax needs. Nancy Anderton's been serving the tri-state area since 1978. Now you can get your taxes prepared with no out-of-pocket expenses. Ask about up to a $1,200 refund advance. It's fast, easy, safe, and convenient. NL Tax and Bookkeeping is open 8:30 a.m. till 6:30 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday, and 8:30 a.m. till 2 p.m. Eastern on Saturday. Questions about the Affordable Care Act? We have those answers too. And we offer a free form price comparison. Experienced and professional tax services. NL Tax and Bookkeeping, 500 Alabama Highway 73, 7 miles from downtown Trenton. Call today at 706-657-4758 or 256-597-2829. NL Tax and Bookkeeping, 706-657-4758 or 256-597-2829.
Citizens Tri-County Bank, the only community bank Marion Countyans will ever need. At 402 North Cedar Avenue in South Pittsburgh, 4765 Main Street in Jasper, and at 14087 Highway 28 in Whitwell. Providing the highest standard of customer services with a personal touch. Our associates can help you with personal loans, personal lines of credit, a variety of mortgage loans, and more. And we offer real-time internet banking too. See us in South Pittsburgh, Jasper, and Whitwell today. Citizens Tri-County Bank, the only community bank Marion Countyans will ever need. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. Come enjoy pizza for lunch or dinner in a family-friendly atmosphere at Stevie B's Pizza in Fort Payne. Enjoy the buffet and salad bar anytime or have a specialty pizza made to order. At Stevie B's, take advantage of Two-Stamp Tuesday for adult and senior buffets and Thirsty Thursdays when drinks are free after 4 p.m. Take out any medium pizza weekdays between 2 and 5 for just $4.49. And on the weekends, take out any 2 large pizzas just $14.99. Book your parties now by calling Stevie B's at 256-979-1234. Stevie B's Pizza, 2200 Galt Avenue North, Fort Payne.
Back to Sheriff Talk here on KWN TV and tragic news. Law enforcement, y'all have to deal with so many things that are unpleasant. Definitely to the family of this little 11-year-old girl in DeKalb County. They're having to now bury their little girl. I don't even, I can't even think about what, would be going through my mind if I was associated with that. I'm applauding law enforcement for a quick arrest, and don't know that much about it other than the fact that Sheriff Weldon, he's just, the department's heartbroken, having to work this type of incident.
Yeah, of course, like we were talking off screen there, that how many people this affects, not only the family, but everybody involved as far as medical and law enforcement and neighbors, whatever. And it's just a tragedy that somebody could do something like this, and it just breaks your heart.
Well, they were quick to make an arrest over the weekend. The sheriff very wisely not wanting to release much information because he wants to make a good case. Mm-hmm. And I know you're very familiar on that. You got to be able to put all the pieces together for the prosecution of whoever is responsible for any case. But they have made an arrest in this case, and it's just a tragic loss, for a 11-year-old child to have to go through that. Yeah. And the family and law enforcement, and just when I first heard it, one of the first things we did, we helped them repost some of their. They were searching for the young girl that was missing from, I believe, our aunt's house, and through our social media here, we were able to repost some of the, hey, look for this person. But obviously the next morning it turned out for the worst.
Evan, I know we in law enforcement get kind of upset sometimes when the people that we know have committed these crimes get off or either don't get the punishment we think they should get and stuff. But I just know that one day they're going to face one judgment that they're not going to escape from. So that's what hopefully the family can have some closure in.
We started the program, and we're just about to wrap up this edition of Sheriff Talk, and started the program as House Bill 324. I think we have a photo of from the Chattanooga Times Free Press yesterday. Actually, we wanted to show this is of course Sheriff from Catoosa County, and you, and along with, is this Sheriff Chitwood, correct? Or no, the
That's Miss Ralston on the left.
That's right.
In a tan coat.
And he is from
He's Gordon County.
Gordon County. I know I'd seen him before, but I and you're right, because I know Sheriff Chitwood, so he's from Gordon County, and of course Sheriff Sis there in Catoosa County.
We met in the boardroom before that interview or that press conference took place and decided who would do the speaking, and I don't think we could have picked a better one. Sheriff Sis did a fantastic job of talking about this bill.
Well, I've talked with him on this issue before, and he has really stayed focused on he's really concerned, as you are, and obviously these 7 sheriffs, about their counties.
Yeah. We're worried about our youth. Our youth is very, we influence pretty easy, a lot of them, and that's where our concern is, with this coming here. Of course, we're definitely concerned about the THC oil if it helps families, but we're all for that. But as far as producing marijuana here in our county, in our state, we're not. We're thinking about our children and their future.
Talking with Dane County Sheriff Ray Cross here on the program, and we certainly do appreciate you watching each and every week here to Sheriff Talk, where we kind of break down different things that are happening in the law enforcement realm. I think last week Sheriff Bo Burnett said that we'll leave on a little humorous note, since we've talked about some really, really rough things. He said you were unable to meet or be there with them when they met together, and but he said I think he said he didn't eat for a couple of days where he could eat on your behalf.
I'm sure he did. I hate I missed that. That's always good food over there, and of course I had the flu then and couldn't make it, but they were at Mud Creek, and that's a good place to eat.
I think he's doing it next.
I think it's his time. Yeah, that's good.
So you get to return the favor.
Maybe in Western Sizzling over there somewhere.
Well, he's thinking about having it catered at his new training facility. That's what
he's done that in the past too. That's good.
So
usually barbecue.
That'll be good. So I'm sure it'll be good no matter what.
Right.
That's for sure. We'll see you next week. Thank you for watching this edition of Sheriff Talk. You've been watching Sheriff Talk, live from the studios of KWN TV7, all around the tri-state area, as we give you information that you can use concerning law enforcement. Join us again next week for another episode of Sheriff Talk, a public affairs program of KWN TV7.